From my perspective, the dating apps were essentially the shiny new object, the novel form of engagement or tool that was widely adopted in the 2010s. But even in the late 2010s, I think this was there was a sign, there were grumblings, and just the overall dissatisfaction from both men and women about the experience that was generated as a result of dating apps. Uh, I don't think I need to get into why dating apps have not been successful and why they've been losing so many customers in recent years. But what I'm going to do is set a prediction and a vision of how I see the dating market taking place, evolving over the next decade and perhaps 20, 30 years. I think immediately, so everybody today is still, even as we're pointing fingers at Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, about what is wrong with the dating apps, every new solution still involves the same slightly altered mechanic of bringing people and properly matching them together, right? I would say the majority of new dating ideas revolve around just an updated version of an app. But I also have seen, run clubs forming, in-person communities, events, third places forming. And I believe that in the next year or two, we're going to see a convergence where people will meet in person and then have the opportunity to connect afterwards through a digital element. So this isn't just an event. It's not just an app. It's a dual full set of system that enables people to meet in person first and then filter through and utilize all the great technology that's been developed over the past 2 decades and then create a further stronger connection in that manner. That's a first stage. And then the second stage where I see that's a little bit more extreme, I would say, is this concept of a village that I've been toying with over the past few years. The name village, of course, comes from the idea that it takes a village to raise a child. And I see a number of problems that are all rooted in the same issue, which is an urbanization, a desire for independence, people moving from rural and suburban areas into the urban cities, and us going from larger family units into single independent family units of maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4 people within a single unit. We live further and further away from the help that we need. We live further away from our families, and we're kind of siloed in everything that we do. So when the older population gets older, they lack the assistance that they would have had in previous years. There's fewer children to care for them in the first place, and then those children happen to be further away, and the cost of living is simply just higher. And this is the same issue that prevents couples from having children or having more children, which is they lack the help to care for their children. There's no brother, sister, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents within the vicinity. And I have this, I'm trying to figure out this concept here, but this is what I have so far. I envision some type of urban planning, some type of community complex center, right? A residential complex where you have first and foremost a senior center, a community center, I would say, a community center where parents can drop off their children, even as young as 2, 3 years old. They can drop off their children, and it would be ran by a staff, a small staff, and aided by volunteers of retired personnel. So what I mean by that is, if you are 60, 70 years old and you're in good health, you're capable of teaching, of, engaging, playing with the children, looking after them in some way, you would come to this center to maybe volunteer for half a day or the full day if your body can withstand that, if your body's capable of that. And in return, what you do is you would receive a facility where you can have, basic level health care, regular, medical related assistance. You have fitness, pools. You would have free meals for the elderly, and then also a social space for the elderly community. I think there's a lot of, when you get to 70, maybe 80 years old, there's still many senior citizens who have so much to offer in knowledge and care and patience for the future generation. But maybe they don't have the stamina to do so and the energy to do so on a full-time basis. So this is kind of a in-between ground where you can come to this center and offer what you're capable of, right? It's rewarding in the sense that you're able to give back to the next generations. But at the same time, you receive something directly through the social community, the food and health benefits as well. And then for the parents, the younger parents who are, from the 20s to 40s, you would be able to have this essentially almost, I don't know if the childcare would be free, but at the very least, the cost would be significantly reduced because of that volunteer community. The children get to learn from a patient generation, senior citizens with knowledge. The parents will have more time and have more financial flexibility. And then the seniors, they would also benefit as well. So this concept, I'm preliminary, at this moment, I'm calling this the village concept. And I think, if the company that I'm working on today does take certain steps, I think the next iteration would integrate a village concept into it.